Now, one of the major obstacles that you might find while trying to gain access to a network is if the network does not broadcast its name. So, if the network is hidden, that you want to be able to connect to that network, even it does not use any network, you cannot connect because the network is hidden. So, if it uses a password, then you want to be able to use the attack that we are going to talk about in the future lectures. So, you literally want to be able to do anything and until you know the name of the network. So, just for an example, like if you have a network and you set it as a hidden and you check that box SSD mask. So, this could be called something else for you again. So if you set your that network as a name, then it doesn't actually broadcast the name in the air. So I also said the network does not use any security, so people can connect as long as the network has their name. So if you go and check out my Windows, as you can see, all of them uses a password protector. So I can really test that without password on. So as you can see, all of those are in password protected. So if it's using a password for the network, then we want to be able to launch this attack. Then if we don't know the name, if you cannot target and target is hidden, the first step is always try to determine the name of the network regardless of whether it uses encryption. So if it uses a password or if it does not use a password. So in this lecture I am going to cover how to determine the name of the hidden network and how to connect to the network. Now I am going to test that. I also previously described this. So what you have to do now is you have to use our command use dump engine. So put your name in the wireless scan, then just hit enter, then this page will come up. Then you can see the hidden network that are around us, so which is this one. As you can see, this is the open network. So you can see that we can actually get the all the information of the network, and we can get the MAC address. So we can see its distances, we can see beacons, we can see distance, beacons, data, and if there is a lot of data, then we can see the encryption. As you can see, most of them are WPA2 and couple of them are open. So you will see it uses WPA or whatever. So the only thing that is name of the internet. So you can see here this one. So basically when a network is configured to be hidden, it only hiddens the network name, but it is still broadcast. So it broadcast is existent, and I am telling all the differences around it, that I exist, my MAC address, and this is the ESID, and it, as you can see, it also has MAC address. So it given all the information except the name. And basically what I am saying, and if you know that, if you see your network name, you can connect. So we are going to do is, now we are going to run this dump engine, and because that's our target. So basically we already done this previously, how we can do this. Please go check that out. I already described all of this detail. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna run the dump engine, and you're gonna specify a BSS ID of the targeted network, which is like a MAC address. Then you're gonna specify a channel channel than the target network, then give you the wireless card in monitor mode, which is 10. So as you can see, there are a lot of aerodynamic. So we are giving it a MAC address. So it is in monitor mode, and as you can see, this is running on against a specific network, this network. So in many cases, if the target network is big active, you will see that you will be able to get the name of it simply by running a Aerodom NG against it. So in our case, we can see that the network is not active, but it is open, but it is not active. So it will not be able to determine its name. But what we can do also is to see, we can see there is a client connected to the network right here, because as we said the second lecture that Aerodom and NG shows us the connection or connected devices. So we can see that there is a device connected to this network and the device has MAC address. So what we are going to do is, now we are going to use authentication attack, and what we did like before, we are going to disconnect this device and from this network, but we are going to actually disconnect it very short period of time, then it automatically reconnects on the target network. So what it does is, it's going to send the network name in the air, since we have like Aerodom NG engine running, and it will be able to capture the name, and it will show us here that it will show us here the name, and it will tell us that we note the name as a network. So again, the attack is very simple. All you're gonna do is we are gonna type this command or this line, just airplay ng, just type this, and this would be your connected machine and the MAC address. So we will be able to capture the name and we will be know the network name. So just type this and press enter, and it will a chance. So what you're gonna do is, then MAC address, give you the MAC address, then do -C, and then give you the MAC address of the client that I want to disconnect, and finally name of the wireless card that you want, and after that with this one is the one which is on the monitor mode, and specify the authentication packet, which is a really big number in here. So we're gonna keep the target computer disconnected for as long as possible. So in this discussion, we actually want them to disconnect for a split second, so we use this as 4 packets. So usually 2 is sufficient, but I'm just going to use 4 just to make sure that target device is still get disconnected. So it's a little, because we are using a very small number, and it will be disconnect for a very short period of time, and the target person who is using the network will not even feel that. So the same command that we did before, nothing different, like airplay. We are doing a deal authentication attack, and we are using a very small number of packet in here, because we don't want to target the person to feel that they got disconnected, because if you disconnect it for a couple of minutes, then they will notice that it's disconnected. So it's better to use a small. Then we give the MAC address of the target network, then after this option, after a option, then the MAC address of the client, then I have to disconnect. So after that, just you press enter, and also you have to type your network monitor machine, so type enter, then and it will show you the network. As you can see, it is the test this is the network name. As you can see, previously it was 0, means it doesn't have any network name to show. So now as you can see, it shows the network name. So AeroDump ng is still not that the. So now if the network is open, like in our case, we can actually go ahead and connect to that network, or if the network is using an encryption like WPA or WPA2, then we actually know the name of the network now, and you will be able to launch the attack. And you are going to learn in the next lecture that against that network and determines its key. So the attack was very simple. All you had to do is run a dump ng against our dump ng command or dump ng function attack against our specific targeted network, and then the authenticated one of the client that very a very short period of time, like in 4 packets, and then they will automatically get connected to the network. And what they do is they will know its network name by using this method. So now let me show you how to connect to a hidden network, because the process is a bit different than connecting to a normal network. The main thing is that since I was using a dump ng and I put my wireless CAN 8 monitor mode, so if I go and try to connect, nothing will gonna be happen, because and I am in monitor mode. So I won't even be able to discover the hidden network, because as we said before, you cannot connect to the network when you are in monitor mode. Monitor mode is only used if we want to capture packets that are not sent to us. So it cannot associate it with the specific network. So to connect a network, we need to be in the manage mode, which is the default mode. So you can just put your card back in the manage mode, or you can just restart your Linux and it will all be in a default mode. So what you have to do now is you have to as you can see in here, you have to connect to a hidden network. So what you're gonna do, go to the setting and click on a application. Firstly you have to go to a Linux machine. So when you go to your Linux machine, it will show up here all the system setting. So after giving all the system setting, and you will go to the application and Wi-Fi setting, and as you can see in Wi-Fi setting, in the lower end in here, as you can see, connect to a hidden network. You can connect to this hidden network which is name is test_ip. You can connect this into your hidden network. So just press the connect to hidden network, and then this page will show up. So it's gonna ask me to put the security, put the connection and Wi-Fi security in this here. So in this connection we will set it as new, and in this network name, as we set it as test_ap, because our hidden network name is test_ap. So we just put it in here, and you can select your Wi-Fi setting like as web or WP or WPA2, then you can specify it in here. But as we are in a hidden network and our security is none, so we will just select this as none. So if you just press connect in here, then I managed to connect to this network. As you can see, this is an active on test underscore AP. So if we go to the setting now, this network actually does not have internet connection, because that's why there is a very low data going in when this was in here. As you can see, very low data. So if you go to this connection setting, but as you can see, I am connected to this network and I have a good signal strength. I have got like my IP address and the default gateway, and our link speed, as you can see, pretty decent. Our IP4 address, IP6 address, our hardware access, and our main root address. So I can do anything I want now on the network because I am fully connected to it. So when it comes to connecting to a network, you need to just keep in mind that your wireless card has to be in a default mode, means manage mode, not in monitor mode. That was previously in here. So as we were working in here, it was in monitor mode. That's because of that we can monitor this, because if it was in default mode or manage mode, you cannot do this. So that's why it has to be in monitor mode, and in this it has to be in default or manage mode. Then you can come back and connect to the hidden network. Put the network name, then you will be able to connect. As I said, hidden network can make a major obstacle, because if the network is open, you won't be able to connect. So if the network is using a password, then you can even start doing the attacks that we are going to talk about until now. So the name of the network is the must. You must have to know this. So the first step is always, as I previously told you many times, you need to know the name of the attack, name of the network.